Hello, everybody. I can probably make 100 of these a day if I can just align to do one at a time. First of all, for those who don't know me, I am R. They usually call me Roni, Ronnie, Ron. Hey, you, buddy, can I help you? Yeah, me? Yeah, you. Me? You? Well, if he said me and he said you, that means I must be a you. It even shows in my hair. Wow. But everybody knows what a U is. It's EWE, which the W connects the other E from one electronic world to the next. When the W falls in half, it actually looks like just a double V on top of each other, and the W is gone. And what is on the left as an E is now on the right as an E. They flipped over on top of each other back to back and turned into an 8. In fact, they turned into a double 8 because they got 1, 2, 3 lines, 2 middles. We now have the digital dots of this world. But wait a second, that's not what I'm talking about. I came here to do something simple. I swear I wasn't going to pass number 10 in this one. Okay? I wasn't going to pass the number 10. I could have stopped at the 9th digit. Okay? I could have began at omega. And omega is just before the one spirit. You see, nothing starts in this world at 1. Everything starts when the 9 birth comes in, when the 7th gate bends over, lifts up the 9th birth into the heavens of the space of 5. Now entering from one world of the 7th gate, moved by the 7th gate into the next world. Therefore, the 7th gate has an opening and a closing, and now it becomes the 8 card. So you have a 7 card representing the 8 card. And like I've showed everybody, it's how we lift this dice. There's only 6. This 6 over the next 6. And in between there's 3. 6 and 6 is 12, and 3 is 15. 1 and 5, 15th letter, omega. First letter, 5th letter, A and E. In between is a C. A plus E is 6. Now you got an F. Now put the F at the beginning. You have F, A, C, E. You got a face. Remove the F. You got an ace. You know what happens if you remove the spirit? Then the F no longer has a line in the center, and that F becomes an L. And the L is an angle of 90 degrees. And 9 and 10 world is your 9 of birth. 135 degrees on the clock, or 8 hours, meaning the 8 heaven shows up number 9. Seriously. If you turn 135 degrees on the clock, you're actually at 4:30. You can also say 4:30 as in the afternoon at 1630 hours, the one spirit of 6 creation. But it would also be looked at 4:30 or 1630. The 30 can be said as 50, meaning a half. So it means 0.5. So that's who we are. 1, 6, 5. 1 and 6 is 7, but it's not. Because when the 1 comes before the 6 or after the 6, it's 7, 7. Because in order to have 6, you need this one in the center to connect these 3. And then you need another one to connect your next dice. Where am I in here? You know how many of these you need? You need it to be like this. Okay? 1, 2, 3 levels. Okay? There's 9 here, 12 around equals 21. 9 here, 12 around equals 21. Only the center has 12. But those are only 4 inside the center and 2 on the outside. The 2 on the outside, okay, are 4 and 6. The one in the center is an automatic 5. But wait a second. It's not in the center. It's only on this face. Move in 1, 2 faces, and then over 2 faces. 1 level down. That would be Jupiter. Can you figure out Rubik's Cube? 63 moons on Jupiter. If they bent over or if they were coupled, okay, as 9 moons, 9 moons, 9 moons, 9 moons, 36. 9 moons, 42. 9 moons, 51, A and E. 9 moons and 9 moons and 9 moons and 9. 9 times 7 is 63 moons. Uranus and Jupiter match the moons. Number 7 to Jupiter. 63 moons. 7 by 9. Why do I say that? Well, your number 7th gate, going over to the 9th berth, bringing it into the 5th position, which is Jupiter. 7 times 9 is 63 moons, and you've got a connection and a birth. The high 5-6, because that 6, in order to live, always has that 1 in it. So you got the 6th moon, and you got the 1, and then you got the 3. Creation of 1, Saturn. 613 laws of Moses. 6 days, 1 day, 3 days. 6 days, 16 hours awake, 96 hours. 8 hours of sleep, 48 hours. 1 day, 24 hours to God. The cow jumped over the moon. You had to get, okay, over the half of Omega because you were getting from the spirit world over the moon Saturday to Sunday. Isn't that how it works? Isn't that what God said? We're going to bring it in a rhyme. We're going to bring it in a tune. It's going to be in a game. Well, it happens to be in every game and in every color and every letter and every shape and every dot and anything that moves and anything you say in any combination of words and whatever comes down, whatever you write and find from what comes down from that will always lead continuously on to the answer. And that's why pi is still going, because I'm still talking and we're all still talking. Not only that, I really don't know much about pi, but does anybody forgot about where pi's got to start? How did pi actually measure all this? You know what I'm saying? How did pi measure it? Because I know one thing. It has to do with 7 and 14 and 21. Like that. 7 and 7 is 14. 7 and 8 is 15 omega, and it's also in pool, the 7 no stripe to the 15 stripe, both high as the ball, 7 and 6. So where was I going? 613. Now we get to the 3 days. 3 days of 16 hours, 48 hours, and 3 days of 8 hours sleeping, 24 hours. Add the 48 to the first number of 96, you have 144 hours of sleep. Spirit, angel, and man. 000, 144,000 midway angels. But take away 2 of them, because man is here. Okay? So take away 2 of the zeros. So instead of 144,000 midway angels, we have 14,000 to 1,440. And I think that's how many minutes there are in a day. Or is that what the way it was? 1,440 minutes in a day, something like that? Let me check that out. Okay, I usually don't do this. Now I'm going to break down. 24 hours divided by 60 equals, no, 24 times 60 equals, that's right, 1,440 hours you're awake. The 8 hours you're asleep now, plus, okay, because you had 48 hours of sleep and 24 was 72, 2 worlds of the 7th gate. Now you got 24 for God. Cow jumped over the moon. The cud she chews twice, and her little titties, 2 and 4. She's the only one that has the right to jump over the moon. 2 and 4 is 8, and that's the only heaven she can jump over. She can't certainly jump under the heaven. She'd be dead. That'd be like mixing the white ghost with the red blood, and that's why you're not supposed to eat the white milk and the red blood together, because the cow jumped over the moon. She ran from over to under. She went from under to over to back under. And when you come down, okay, you don't just jump over the moon, right? It's not a full. When you jump over the moon, you come back that way. And then the other side of the moon comes back that way. And then it makes a tie loop, okay, in the moon. The moon is a satellite communication. Somehow, somewhere, there's somebody in that moon. There's knock, knock, who's there? Knock, knock, who's there? Looks like you got a bunch of holes in your head talking about the moon and the craters, right? Craters, exhaust. I mean, come on. Take a look at what the moon looks like tonight. That little sliver of moon. Look at the shine that it's showing. Are you going to tell me that's a reflection of something else? I don't think so. You know why? Because God split the day and the night. When you look at the sun, it shines right into your eyes, right? When you look at the moon, it glows. It's beautiful. It's not pinpointing like the sun is. The moon spreads out. It spreads out its glow. It's a light. It's a light in the sky more than just a moon. M-O-O-N. Split the two O's. One in one world, one in the other world. One's got an N with an O, and one's got an O-M, one's got an O-N. The one with the O-N, right, is actually 1415. In fact, it's creation 3.1415. First part of pi. Everything is going to always relate back to this because the alphabet stops at M, and then it's the beginning of the connection. N and Z are the same thing. They're middles and jump overs. They're in the middle. Okay, they're in the middle. Z is in the middle of two Y's. Okay, and N is in the middle between O and M, and they're both omega, alpha omega, because M is the last letter from A to M. That means from 1 to love. And then from M to O, the only thing in between is the N passage, which is 5. And that's the number of God. God is every 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, God. 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 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. And 1 for you. And 1 for me. And 4 to 1 is 1 for 4. Do you understand? 1 to 4 as 4 is to 1. 4, 1, 2, 1. Check the odds. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to come up with a letter. These are two different worlds over here, okay? These are two different worlds. Now the cut of this is the cut of creation. Why would I say it's the cut of creation? Because of this. It's the cut of creation. You see the same thing. Turn it the other way. See the same thing. So I do the same thing. Now I follow the cut. Now you must remove what has been cut off, because this or this, all it has to do is fold over. Now you notice this is a point and this is a round. That means this round can fold over this way. You can never fold a point into a point because the height, okay, being equal to the sides and the length, okay, being twice or 3 times that, will touch both sides. So they turn it into a corner and it folds in. Then I'm going to show you what letter it makes. Okay, although I did it on both sides. And on this side. Okay. What does it look like to you? Does it look like a backwards jack to you? It's a backwards jack. And this one, you see this part over here? That's the center of the next world. It all stops. That's why this leg is not showing. And now you have the F that's above, because it must stop here. Must stop here. So the J and the F are actually two letters that are very similar. Don't forget, listen, if you say the letter S, the E sound is before the S. So what you have to do now is find the numerological number for S, which is 19. 1 plus 9 equals 1. Now you have to find between 1 and the E that was before the S, the middle of it, and that is C. And now you know what the value of the S is? A-C-E, ace. It is a spirit connect. Take any letter in the alphabet. Take the M, E-M. Now the M, I can do a million things to it, okay, when I'm thinking about it. But the M is E-M. So now you're going to do the same thing. You can do it 2 ways this way. M is the 13th letter. 1 plus 3 is 4. E is the 5. 4 and 5. So these two can go together. D and E. So M equals DE. What does DE equal? The 4th and the 5th equals 9. It equals to a birth. The 5 is the middle passage, and the 4 is 2 and 2 angle. The 2 angle connected to man. 2 angle beta connected to the 2 angle of heaven. 2 angle of beta delta connected to the 2 angle of man. This one's 2, this one's 2, this one's 2, this one's 2. But when this 2 goes to this 2, this one's 4. But when it goes to the other side, it's a 6. Well, I mean, you got to be on one side or the other side. It's just logic. If it's 2 up here and you go down one level, it's the 5. You go to the left, it's a 4. You go to the right, it's a 6. And the way the angles flip up on each other. because there's very mysterious new things I have. It all depends on how people see things. So what letters we came up with here were these two because of this. The other letter you can actually come up with if you want is number 7, or just finish it off as a Z. But like I said, we have to stop it right here. Unless we have the other world come by and we connect all the worlds. If an A comes next to it, you see the bar with the A, see the X over here? The minute you find a position, like a center over here, now you can run this until it runs out. I'm not quite sure what that distance is, okay? I do know that when you're playing craps in the casino and they say, yo, 11, one of the reasons for that is because the O, okay, is made up of 4 11s. And one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the side, one on the other side. Yo, 11. So anyways, that's not the only reason. That's not the that's not the only reason for it. Y connects after Y, and then when you connect the first time after Y, now that's omega. Or is omega the first of everything? The omega and the dot. One other thing I was going to show you was with dots. You see this dot here and this dot here? Imagine it was the dots on my dice, okay? But I write terrible. I have to design these railroad tracks from this dot to this dot. You see the 11 already? When you touch them together with a U or a V, automatically it seems to look like the letter I here. And on the 6 dice, you would have to have one between each one. One here, one here, one here, one here. There would be 4 on this 6, and there would be 4 on the other 6, creating 8, 6, the heaven of 8, 6. Did you follow me? Those would be the eyes. There's one eye on here, and one eye over here, one eye here, and one eye here. You have 4 eyes on each one. 4 eyes, 9 equals 36. 36, 2 of the dice. Actually, you need 5. 5 times 36 is 180 degrees. Why do you need 5? Because if you have 2 on the outside, then down here you have 1 on the inside, and then you have 2 on the outside, and down here you have 1 on the inside, and down here you have 2 on the outside. It's a balancing act. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. And then when you go from this side to this side, it's 3, 1, 3, 1. 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. Think. It's a hat. Okay, how can I describe it? It's like this, okay? It's a hat. It's a hat. It's a hat. Okay, this flips open and shuts, open and shuts. Now what happens if you have 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here? Those are your 3. Here's 1 over here, and here's your 3 over here. But we didn't count the in-between. If we count the in-between, okay, you would go 3, 2 on the outside, 3 in a row. There are no 2 on the outside. Unless you take this dice and you put it together with the other dice this way. Now you are completely closed. Here is 6, that is man. Okay? Now when you turn the other circle the other way, you have turned the dice 2 ways, you have completed 8 spaces. Now all you need is your life. So you put your life right in here. There you go. So now we have 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 and 10 is 18. 8 and 1 is 9. You have now been born. Angel resident. The 18th letter in the alphabet, the furthest letter away from alpha. 17 away, the one spirit of the 7th gate. Angel resident, 18, and the letter A sound before the R makes a total of 19. 19 is the letter S. So if we now add the S, which has an E sound before it, but we're going to leave that out for right now, is 19 and 19. We now have 38. Creation of the heaven. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the 4 corners. R. Add in the E for the sound of the S. And that's 5 more. 38 and 5 is 43. We have the Baltic. We have to add in the T with that. Because we don't have add the T, we don't have ST. So we need the T with that. And that's the 20th. So we add the T to that. 20 plus 43 equals 63. 63 moons on Jupiter. 36, creation of man. 3 by 6, 18, angel resident. 3 by 18, 21. It takes the letter U. Like I said before, is it me or you? And it's you, it's me. Let's leave it at this for that and that for now. There's so many different kinds of designs and different, it's insane. It never stops. Can you please rate me on this one? I thought I did pretty good. Raphael 70, 286. Aye, aye, Captain. Let the Titanic sink. It's going to be a cold one. Yes, no, before we end it right now, I was watching politics. They're taking to the streets the students, and they're demanding that the government pay for this and pay for that and pay for that. But it's not the government. It's all wrong. It's wrong. It shouldn't be that way. You know why? What has to happen is the government has to go in and charge those people who are not paying taxes of these big companies and send that money direct to the kids so they can go to school. Send it to the hospitals. Let me tell you one thing. I'm not talking about 10 million, okay? I'm going to take it easy. I'm talking about a cool $1 billion. Like this. Like this. They're not paying billions of dollars. Last year, GE saved 14 trillion or $1 billion in taxes. $14 billion. Was it 14 billion or was it trillion? No, it couldn't be trillion. It was billion. 14. You notice everything is 14? 14 and 15. NO. 29 total. Birth in the secondary heaven. Earth. 2. Second of this, second of that, the passage to this, the extra of this. There's 3 in this world. There was only 1. But to make 1, they had to need a passage. You got to go in through a door and out through a door. Halfway in, halfway up, halfway out. Did you make it? I'm here, am I not? It's a one-stop place. There's never been a vitamin B4 omega. Is that possible? Never a before omega? So that means omega, which is the fish. And we are from the Great Blue Sea. Somehow the easier life is in the Great Blue Sea, where we get to change bodies between fish, I guess. I guess I'm going into the water. No wonder I hate water so much. Fuck, I'm a fish. But we're angel fish, so that's okay. And it even designs. It certainly, definitely designs. Definitely designs just in one. This is just like over here, you see. See the tails of the fish? See the little tail of the fish? An angel fish. Here's another fish. Oh, what's that? That's the lobster claws to pinch you and give you the electricity. Ingoing, outgoing. How do I see the electrical wires? They're coming out of your hair, onto your arms, growing from your face. It's an exhaust system. Pretty good, eh? Look at what God did for my exhaust. Pretty trim, eh? Didn't go up any higher. Don't need no more exhaust. Got the exhaust up to here. Taking up a little space, but I carry it around. I don't have to hold on to it. And it grows on you forever and ever. Until the end, of course. And that's when forever ends. Forever. Well, ever is like saint. Because ever and saint is Stephen. And Stephen is even, so take away that T in the saint, because we don't need no cross no more. So instead of it got Saint Even, we just got a 7. A 7 God for the 7 world, for the 7th rights of man. For the 9th birth that he comes in and he ends up left with none. The same way he began, of course. Omega, Raphael 7286. The constellation of Pegasus. The good Lord. He's coming, my friends. He's coming. How he's going to come, I do not know. Is he coming only to me? If you want him, he can go to you. But is he coming to us so that we all can see at once? Or is it all in my mind? It's now all up to you.